then you push yourself, you go to your cutting edge of your competence, and then you will feel a loss of security. There is no way to try something new in front of 30 bodies and not feel uncomfortable. But if you don't quite know what you're doing, then you know you're growing. So the risk-taking that we want our students to take in language is what this process may be asking some people to do, probably not the ones that are in the room, and they're feeling that loss of security. They've always done it this way, they've had success with it this way, so therefore it should always be done this way, and the world would have to stand still for that mindset. So maybe some of you want that quote, and I'll just leave it in there, but here was where we were at when I left. And there are just a couple of people in the room that might remember the arguments and discussions around the specific language as department chairs wrestled with the language, took it back to their departments, and finally agreed that this was how we would, in simple, the task was under 10 words, define our targeted goals for levels in terms that students and administrators would understand, as well as connecting teachers to the actual proficiency guidelines. They're really performance statements because they're only really going to be able to create with language at the sentence level in the topics they've studied. So I just put those back in case department chairs want to revisit them, rethrash them out, and as part of this process kind of come back together around common expectations. So I'm not going to explain those, it would just take too long. There was a question there about finding authentic text. It actually is very easy to find authentic text as long as you have hours of time. You know, it's not that it's hard, but there are some things that really have to be paramount in your mind. You are looking for texts that address the essential question of the unit. You are not looking for texts that have specific vocabulary words. It doesn't mean you change your vocabulary list. It means we'll talk about this text and I'll work those words in. And that's all. If you go looking for the words you want to teach, you will never find the text. Or you'll find teacher-made texts and posters that are not authentic, that kind of stuff. You're not looking for a structure at all. You would never find a text and say, it has past tense in it. Everything else is perfect, but there's a subjunctive and they haven't studied the subjunctive yet. You just treat it like a child, and you read a dinosaur book to a 3-year-old, and you don't freak out because it's written in the past tense, but they haven't studied the past tense in school yet, so really you shouldn't read about dinosaurs to a child. So you just like go with the flow, they can understand it. You use Google search or whatever search engine you want to use. You always search in the target language. You always type phrases in the target language, and not words, but phrases like, what is hunger, or what are the, so I remember doing a selfie unit, what are the most dangerous selfies in the world, and up top 10 selfie images in Spanish with descriptions of what was going on. So and if you don't find anything, because then you click on pictures, and if the pictures don't relate to the picture in your head, your search term needs to be adjusted. But by searching that way and clicking on images, you are on Spanish sites. So behind every picture is now Spanish. So if you find an interesting image and you click, you may have text that will help you. But because you're thinking novice, you always click on images and videos first. Ignore that reading section because it's almost always going to be too hard. Another trick is to type your phrase and then type pour les enfants, pour les jeunes, para niños, and then sometimes that takes you to like the equivalent of National Geographic for kids on the topic. So you target it down just by typing para niños, and then you can read anything you want because you get to ask questions. So you skip over what they can't understand. Or you might only do the picture and the first caption. That's it for novice. There's a whole other article there, but oh wow, they can't possibly do that. Pinterest is your, it will consume hours, but the same thing, when you go to Pinterest, you have to type in the target language. And the only thing on Pinterest is you have to be careful, because if like you do food or house, like if you type comida or cuisine, You just pull up everybody that's keeping their own personal boards with recipes. So your phrase has to be a little more educational to get beyond the people that are using Pinterest for whatever. And then Huffington Post, I don't know what your politics are, but Huffington Post it publishes in all of your languages, so you change the edition and you can get off the main page and go to the culture page. Or if something goes viral and you see it on Huffington Post English, it's probably on the Huffington Post with the text. And it's authentic because they don't translate. They actually have people writing for Huffington Post in all these other countries. And you probably have a million more. But that's sort of like one of those holdout arguments, I can't find anything. It just that your brain hasn't settled into a pattern of finding it yet, because once it does, it's like, I can find